Oh man, here we go back at it.
Yes, sir. We back, and we got a special one. They're all special, but the most recent one is the most special one. Okay,
That's
this
right.
how we
That's
do.
right. Oh yeah.
We got our boy Mikey Moscato in the building.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Golf clap.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for showing up, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. And you're actually our closest guest so far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you didn't have to travel to another state. You were already in the vicinity, so that's a good thing.
Hey, I saw the GPS 12 minutes.
Hey, man.
You were like, yes.
You're like, man, I'm in
I
there.
like it.
Fire.
West Valley.
Yes, sir. West Side all day. So let's get into Mikey Moscato. Let's talk about kind of, what do you do? What obviously your origin story. We'll get into let's get into all that. So let's get into, first of all, what do you do? What is it that Mikey Moscato does on the regular?
Man, I'm a jack of all trades.
Okay.
No, I mean, on the regular, I've been really just doing a lot of like engineering,
Okay.
out of my home. It's, recording my own music, but I've kind of put that on the back burner, kind of fallen in love with just like recording other artists and, that business side of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have your own studio,
Yes, sir.
the Moscato Room. So tell us what was the decision to say, okay, I'm already recording myself, but let me make this thing a place where other people can come and also, make it a business.
So, probably like about, when did Ronnie come out? About 5 years ago. I got my own interface, like a little small inbox.
Of course, yeah.
Was recording myself, and the homie GMC, his cousin Ronnie Dijon was like, I need someone to record, and
Okay.
I was just getting a real good sound out of what I had from my Pro Tools. So he came over, and I never recorded anybody else. It was just like,
right.
you want to get a feature, come over and we'll do that. So just his eyes lit up, like, man, the sound I'm getting from here is like exactly what I'm looking for.
That's fire.
Yeah, so it was like me just kind of getting comfortable, like, okay, I can do this. So we finished his project, but then after that, I was like, man, let me just go ahead and just kind of just throw it out there, like, hey, I'll record.
Okay.
And a couple times it was just like, come over. I'm not even going to charge you to record. Just come over
Right.
here, you know what I mean? And if you like it, and then we'll talk about maybe doing a future project and stuff like that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when was this?
So his first project was about a good 5 years ago.
Okay.
About 5 years ago.
Nice.
So, we got his project done, but then my health and just other reasons, I kind of just fell back and I didn't do no recording.
Okay.
And then it came into the time like we were thinking like, hey, let's do recording, but not out of your living room.
Right. Right. Hey.
You know what I mean?
You gotta get started somewhere,
right.
man.
Yeah. So we went ahead and like found our own little rental space over off of like 27th and Indian School.
Okay.
The Bermuda Triangle of Phoenix.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But then like after a while, we were there for about a good year, and man, I'm an asshole to work with, like when it comes to my own personal stuff. So I was like, I gotta get my own spot.
Got you.
You know,
Right.
and then
Got you.
plus,
Yeah, I get it.
my wife was like, you're gone a lot of times. So I just sat back one day in the garage, like, man, I can make this a studio. I've been to a couple garage studios. I can do this.
Well, HKS.
HKS
You know
was
what
a
I'm
real big
saying?
inspiration.
Is kind of like the guy that really was doing it before anybody was, and really got his notoriety from that garage studio sound. I mean, I went there probably 12, 13 years ago, and was like, you go to the house, you're like, you got a studio in here? And then you walk in there, you're like, oh, you got a studio in here. Like,
Right.
well, that's dope.
Right.
Yeah, that's the best feeling, man. Because like, my garage is not that organized. You walk into the front door, you walk in, there's like, is that a baby swing? And,
Right, right, all
but
kind
then
of
you
shit.
open the door and it's like, oh wow, you're not kidding. So yeah.
Fire. That's so fire. So let's talk about, kind of your side of the music. You actually doing music. You releasing projects. I know you had hit me up, let me know you had something that you was gonna release soon. I know you probably gonna want to get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, how you got into music, how you started doing music. When did you start? What made you start? All that good shit.
Definitely. So, like growing up and stuff like that, you're always, I'm old school. So like you flip the tape,
Yep.
you got the instrumental.
Yep.
So it was always just like freestyle at parties and kickbacks.
Okay.
But I didn't really start getting into the music until I was a lot older. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to admit I'm 41. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm an old head. So it's just one of those things where my best friend had passed away, and he moved out here from Pittsburgh to stay with me and my family. Passed away while he was down here, but man, it was just one of those things where I made a song for him in like his memory, and like just it's the most heartfelt song I've ever done, but like the production on it, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't know how to spit. I wasn't comfortable with my voice.
Right.
But man, the response is still like, I love that song. I love that song.
Okay.
So it went from there, you know?
Nice.
But it's a lot different than that song, you know, my style now.
Right.
So when it comes to your music or anybody else's music, do you actually make beats, or is that something that's outsourced?
Yeah, outsourced. Like a lot of the artists that come in already have, you know, a lot of their own production. Or like right now my whole thing is, and I was just happy to do it a couple of days ago too, you know, my boy Ronnie Dijon, I'll probably mention him a couple times. Yeah, he does his own, you know, his own beats, or Cairo Cartier. So there's been a lot of times where I've like actually, hey, go to my people and then, you know, get the beat from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody got to eat.
It's one side of the business that I really want to get into, because I mean I have like everything there for my guys when they come to my studio.
Okay.
You know, so when people they're like, hey, you make beats too, and I mean I could put good effects. You know what I mean? I'll make the hi-hats, you know, triple up.
Right.
So I can hear it, but man, I've attempted before in the past, and it's boom, bop, bop, bop. I don't want to do that. I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yo,
right? Yeah, man.
I tried it years ago, and I think I tried it for like a week, and I was like, nah, I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, it takes dedication, dude. Because
sometimes you could come up with something crazy, like right off the top, and then sometimes it's like, yo, all you got is an 808 and a snare, and then 2 days later you got a melody, and I'm like, I ain't got the time for that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I can sit there and mix and record for hours. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do that shit for hours, but man, the beat making, nah, bro.
And I don't know, like you just sit there in awe, like, man, how did you do that in 20 minutes?
Yo, crazy.
You know what I mean?
Right.
How did you do that in 20 minutes? Like, whether they're just taking samples and looping it or they're banging it out right there, like, how did you do that? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely an art form, dude.
Oh,
and like I've dabbled in it as well. You know, even not even just beat, just even doing like writing a song, because I play a little bit of guitar and stuff like that, man.
Oh,
It's difficult, man. It is not an easy thing to sit down and record
Compose.
yourself,
yeah.
you know, or record something, and then I think the perfectionist too comes out, you know, I think in any creative, really, because it's like, damn, that's not the way I want it, you know. And I think it kind of translates to the beat making as well, you know. You're like, damn, man. And you know, and I think those guys have just perfected it, you know, over the years, you know. So it's just like Dizzle, man. I think Diz, dude, he's got his he's crazy. Amazing, dude. Beat making, man.
Yeah, Diz was crazy.
Yeah, I like how like his sound is his sound, but it's still diverse. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Diz will be happy. We always tease him because he be hiding all this good.
You don't put him on the site for the good ones.
He be all the great ones. He says that's not what he does, but they really in the track vault. You gotta go.
He's like, I want to get
him.
these.
Yeah,
you gotta go see him and open that vault. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just recently met him, like, like within this last 6 months. You know what I mean? That whole Fetty bound.
Yeah, Ken G.
Yeah.
So you and Ken G had already known each other prior to, like, when did that? So when did that kind of connection happen?
So like,
because I know he was just rocking with you recently, right?
Yeah.
Like just the other day, I want to say.
Yeah, that's my ace, man. I got a lot of love for that dude. He's cool. You know what I mean? I mean, even coming down to like, yo, let's get this stage performance thing down. You know what I mean? That's another level right there.
Right.
But I met him through an amazing artist. Her name is Phoenix.
Okay.
You know, so she came in and man, I think we've done like over like 10 plus songs. You know, the whole thing is to do a project with her, but you know, life gets in the way.
Of course.
Every time we come in, it's just amazing. So she's really big on like having the people that have messed with her come and get on her album. You know what I mean? She's like very like home knit. I want my people to be on my album. So she's like, yeah, I got a guy artist coming through. She already brought through this other female artist, dope vocalist. But yeah, he was like, man, I love the way this sounds. Can I come here and record next week? And then it was it.
Okay. And then that's how, obviously, and then eventually you got, you know, True in the fold, and then Diz in the fold. Okay, yeah, because he talks about you like, man, he's like, Moscato, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well,
like just major, I know. I was like, it's
just
cool.
major love. You know what I'm saying?
I liked his story though because what he said was very impactful in the sense that it's not that you were in the room hitting the record button,
right?
And I really appreciated it was like, no, bro, you got to do it. Like, you got to sing, bro. You got to do this. You know, you got to hit this. So, do you take that approach with pretty much every artist that you come in contact with? Like, bro, I don't hear it that way. I think it should go this way. Or, you know what I'm saying? You have more input being more of a producer.
When I start to feel comfortable, I will. Well, actually, I'm comfortable enough to where I'll do it a lot now. Mm-hmm. But like when I first started out, and even like with all these new genres of music, and I say genres like, you know, you got like a lot more of this drill, and there's different genres even in drill right now. You know what I mean? Right. And I think it's just because of me. I'm like, I come from a different era where like you might have someone stack their vocals 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? So like when I hear a new style, I almost got to sit back and like go back and listen to these artists and be like, what are they trying to sound like? Right. Without throwing my style on it. But now I'm comfortable enough to be like, hey, you know what? And even before too, I would always be like, hey, let's just redo it. I never want to have them leave with something where I'm like, oh my God, you know? But I've had to kind of like curve it a little bit to like, you know, make them, they want to have it sound this way, just make them sound good. You know what I mean? Make them sound good.
Right. And that's a hard thing to do as an engineer because, you know, technically your job as an engineer is like you said, just to make them solely sound good, right? So to have your input, and that's something that, you know, as we're both have an engineer background, right? You know, has been kind of one of the things that I've loved to do as an engineer too. Is like, yo, do it like this, but I only do it with, you know, people that I've been working with forever, you know, friends, like, and I've had sometimes I'm like, nah, bro, I don't want to do it like that. Like, all right.
I know, dude, you do kind of get put on well, you know what, man, I was working with a great engineer, Kilroy, from West Coast Music, and he got his own studio off of 7th now. But I was asking him input the first time I was ever in the studio with him, and he's like, well, that's like, you know, co-producer, right? So I could charge you a co-producer fee. And at first I was like, what? But then I started thinking back like, okay, cool. He's not with me writing the music. He doesn't hear us. So I'm okay with it.
Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, it was cool. I mean, the way I didn't take it like as being like, oh man, you don't mess with me. Cause he actually got on a song with me too. Okay. But it just made me kind of think back like, well, I've recorded with people where they just pushed a button, and at the end of the day, I was like, man, how come they just didn't tell me I wasn't hitting it right, or doing this right? You know, because my name's behind it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And there's been some things where like you always hear it back like a year later, like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done perfectionist. Like,
of course,
yeah. But I never want to. I want to listen to it in the car, and I do for the majority of the artists that I do. I like always, not even the tape test. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's always in my phone.
Once it actually comes out, Have you ever run into a situation where maybe that approach has steered somebody away from you? Like they've only came like once and then dipped out, or not dipped out in the session, but like they never really hit you back. They came like once or twice and they're like, yo, this dude's always
without naming any names.
Right. You don't have to name any names.
Right.
Now, you know what? I think I've been really blessed. I mean, but actually I have. There's been some people there, but like but I even see like in their motions, they go to a lot of different studios as it is.
Got
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of took that to heart at first, like, dang, you know what I mean? Or like, hey, I'm just going to come and drop a practice set here, and then I'm going to go to another studio. So it's kind of hard for me at first to be like, damn, well, how come you don't want to come do the whole thing with me? But, you know, everybody has their own thing. So,
of course.
You know, you just got to take it as like business, but always treat them like A1.
Yeah, as long as that payment comes through, you know what I'm saying?
I found it kind of hard, like, us working together, you know, this is probably why we're doing this now, you know, is like I would hear something and I'd be like, bro, I don't know. I'd call him and I'd be like, I'm not sure about this auto-tune on this, man. I just, it's not vibing with me, you know. And he's like, yeah, but that's what they want. Can you mix it down? I'm like, yeah, of course I can.
Yeah. So you know exactly.
But I know exactly, dude. Yeah. It's just because we were working on music 10 years ago, you know, and I remember we'd have phone conversations, so it just kind of reminded me, dude, like, you know, it's not necessarily what you want, like you said, you know, because you kind of project yourself sometimes onto other people, and you're like, no, I like this sound better. But then again, there's always the artist. It's the artist's choice, you know, and it's like, okay, cool, like it can still work, you know, even though that was always kind of hard for me. I was like, man, I'm not sure about that, about that choice, you know. But then again, it's the artist's choice, you know. It's not, even though you just make it sound good. Exactly. As long as you make it sound good and fire, that's all you can do.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So speaking of mixing and mastering, do you do both of those?
So like, I'm kind of like confident enough. The full mastering and the art of mastering. I've never gone to school for it. Yo, is that microphone gonna pick up my stomach?
But the camera just
the camera did. The microphone, you're good, bro.
You can keep that in there. That's cool. That's funny as shit. I had to stop like, damn.
I love it, man. I love it.
I had to stop like, damn.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's good.
So the art of mastering, the full art of I was like, what were we talking about? You know, I've never gone to school for it, so it's like a lot of YouTube, a lot of like picking other people's ears when I go to other studios and stuff like that. But man, you know what? A lot of people like leave with their mixes, and with me just going ahead and making it, you know, sometimes brighter, sometimes warmer. You know what I mean? I know the gist of what mastering really is.
Right.
You know what I mean? And with mixing, I mean, like, you know, some people, they want to come in there and they want to bang out like a song an hour. You know what I mean? So like I've gotten pretty confident to where I'll get you a good, I'll freak it I'll mix it while we're recording.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So they can leave with it. And but you know, I always try to tell people like, look, if you really want to get the best work, you know, let's go ahead and spend like another whole hour. Let me get some fresh ears, and go back and let's do like a full remix and like a master is what I would call it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, and mastering is one of those things too. It's like there's a lot of people who be saying, "Yeah, I'll do your masters," and charging you for the masters. And all they doing is putting a limiter on there and turning it up.
Exactly, yeah.
And you just got charged another $50 an hour for that shit.
Yeah. Mastering is hard though, dude.
No, there's like, people don't understand. It's a whole thing. Like,
because
you have to go to class for it.
Yeah,
right.
and that's
I
my
love
goal.
mixing. Mixing is
to really be good at it, or you have to, like you said, Google and YouTube the shit out of it and practice and practice and practice. And you got to have a crazy ear too.
Yes, you have to have a crazy ear.
You have to have a crazy ear, like,
and it's good to have different like speakers, headphones.
Yeah,
you got to hear it in different, different ways. You know, because you might be able to mix something in your headphones, but then you put them on speakers, and you're like, "What the hell did I just do?" So it's good to, you know, that's good with mixing though too. You know, for people whoever's getting into it. You know?
And I've always said that too. Like you can have the best equipment. It's going to help you. You know what I mean? But really, it is going to be that ear. You know what I mean? Back in the day, I was at the factory. I was with Yogi Westwood.
Okay,
and
shout out to Yogi.
Yeah, Yogi, man, that's like OG right there.
Straight OG.
And I don't think he knew like how much I was just sitting behind him, watching him do his thing with those like Bud Lights in his hand and everything like that. But he said it too. It's like, it's really just your ear. He's like, there's no right or wrong way to master. You know what I mean? He's just like, you know, and of course I know if it's hot and heavy, clip in and that.
Right.
But he was right. I mean, there's really no right or wrong way to mix or master. It's whatever your ear is. You know what I mean? That boy got an ear.
Yeah.
know?
Well, I'm telling you, I walked in the studios, man, and then went home and did my own shit, and I was like, y'all pay for that? Y'all could have paid me. All I got is, like you said, an inbox and a computer.
Right.
And a dusty ass microphone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to know the room and know the sound. You know what I mean? So do you have like a go-to setup? Somebody comes, is like, I'm using these EQs, like this compression, or do you kind of take it to whatever the sound is? Because I know, like, for me personally, I like my main ones. Like, I'm
right.
I'm gonna just, like you said, freak it. I'm gonna freak it. I'm gonna freak that one. However that sounds. Or do you try to like use different stuff, experiment depending on the artist?
And then I always have to tell them, hey, dude, quit using that EQ, would you?
Yeah.
For that past experience. Yeah.
Right.
So before I would like record them totally flat, and then I found a template that my mic sounded good and like position where my mic was. So I always used that, and of course, like, you know, if it was a female, then a male, you know what I mean. But I try to save the templates for the artist. It's funny, man, that you say that, because I had an artist, my boy Chop. I don't care if I'm name dropping. That's my ace too. But he was like, "Hey, man, you're not really like pressing a lot of buttons while we're mixing and stuff like that." I was like, "No, I got your template already saved."
Right.
You know what I mean? I can make it look like I'm doing it, but you know what I mean? Like, and it sounds clean. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I think it was just one of those things. Like before, the couple times when we were together, I was.
Yeah, trying to get that right sound.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I do have some go-tos and stuff like that. You know, especially with like the female artists that I have come in, I have their stuff already saved, so it's easy.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a good idea to have something saved.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and because then you can at least tweak it if somebody's registers just a little bit higher or lower.
Oh, yeah.
You always kind of tweak it a little bit.
Save it. Then save
oh
it.
yeah, always save. How much stuff have you lost before?
Oh, before you get that rainbow wheel, and you know it's done.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
You're like, damn it, we got to record that again.
You ever lost a full session that wasn't yours?
Yeah, man. I mean, because I didn't properly name it and I didn't know how to file. Actually, I was with Kenji the other day, man, and I just I didn't even charge him for an hour because we were looking for his damn session.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? But I think that was like the Moscato. That's why I'm laying off of that liquor.
Oh,
right now.
got you.
But
got you.
I've seen I show love like that. You know what I mean? Like I just remember what it was like when I was in the studio. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, like, man, properly saving stuff. You know what I mean? And naming it right.
All right.
Dude, that's key just right there. What file you stick it in? Because there could be you could stick it in a totally different file.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
A random document file, and you're like, why is this in the document file?
That's funny because we got a mutual homeboy, Jay Peasy, and he hit me like 2 months ago. The one that you was asking me about, the No Destination joint.
Yeah.
He was asking me about that, and I could not. I think you were here when I was looking for it, and I was like, "Yo, Jay Peasy." I found the one. It was two. I found the one, and I was like looking for No Destination. It had no destination, bro. Like I was in there, like, and it was like in a weird, like, 2016, something random, bro.
Yeah.
It was like 5 folders in.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know how I found
that's
this,
key
bro.
for anything, really, man. Just save whoever's listening, watching, man. Save your files right and where
Control S, Command S.
Right, all the time.
Learn
all
those too.
Always, dude.
Yeah.
Just constantly do that.
Straight up.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, it's real important too. Excuse me. Have these, man. This is gonna pick up everywhere.
No, you're good.
Like having these artists bring like their hard drives. You know what I mean? Like you'll leave with your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Let's talk about your single that Dre kind of mentioned earlier, man. That you're about to drop it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like in limbo because I've always dropped music and I've done it wrong. You know what I mean? Like I've put it out real quick without any kind of promotion behind it. So I'm kind of going back and forth where I want to go ahead and actually with Fat Belly, I want to have a visual done with it.
Nice.
You know,
Okay.
but I'm kind of in the air like with, well, maybe I should go ahead and just release it to let everybody hear it first, then get the visual. But you know, it's hit or miss.
It's always hard, man.
Yeah. But promotion is always key, though.
Oh, yeah,
You know what
without
I'm
a
saying? I mean, always trying to promote. You know, that's hard to do in general, man. Like just staying on top of it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and constantly, you know, promoting and getting to the right, like what you feel is not maybe saturated. You know, just having the right amount. You know?
Yeah, spamming everybody up and everything like that.
Right.
Yeah,
You know.
all that.
Well, that's like the thing. Like, you know, when you're independent, like you really have to sit back and like learn all these different roles. I mean, you're not going to school for marketing, so who do you lean on to go ahead and promote
Right.
it? And then like you're relying on like analytics from like IG and Facebook and all that. You know, so it's one of those things where anything. But I'm a firm believer, like, you know, now videos is the way to go. Before it was like concrete and greet. You know what I mean? Which really seems like now lately, because we've been locked up for a year. Man, the street scenes and live performances is really the way to go get
For
your music
sure.
out. Everybody's hungry to get out there and be out.
Yeah.
Things are popping right now too,
definitely.
man.
That was the one thing that Kenji said about you too, man, was like, you be out there, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know, things were shut down,
Right.
all that. But like basically, you know, when we were open, you were like, I'll do a show here, I'll do a big show here, I'll do a 20-person show here. Like, so, you know, you really be out there. Why do you do so many performances when you're, you know, not that I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but a lot of people are afraid to be like, nah, I'm going to do this one on Friday, this one on Saturday, another one next week. And they're very picky and choosy. And sometimes that could either help you or hurt you. You know what I mean?
Well, like, man, I felt like well, first I love being in front of people. That's
Okay.
just the one thing, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like an attention whore that way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just
I
like
respect
being
it.
in front of people.
I respect it.
But then also, you could be like a performance whore and like you just oversaturate yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I used to do all that. I used to do like all the local venues, the small shows, just to get my name out there because, you know, I just felt like if they see me, then they're gonna know me, and it
Right.
actually has helped. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's one thing I think, like, Kenji's talking about, like, whenever he's like, hey, do you know this person, that person? No, I don't know. But then all of a sudden, like, a week later, there'll be someone in the studio, like, how do you know them and how do they know you? Like,
Right.
that's from back in the day doing those Famous Sam shows.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Shout out to Famous Sam, bro. Shout out to Famous Sam. Legendary, bro. Famous Sam. The Famous Sam shows is legendary, bro.
Yep, DJ
Trust.
Joker over there making you sound
Trust, and believe. What's your favorite spot that you performed at out here?
good. Man, favorite spot that I've ever performed at?
Or one of them? Besides, obviously.
I've never done nothing big. Like, I've always wanted to do like celebrities and stuff. I've never done like big shows and stuff
Okay.
like that. But like one of my favorite places to ever perform at is when it was called Henry Jack's over in Avondale. You know what I mean? And I think the reason why it's like right off of Western. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I think the reason why is just because the shows were just always just like, they were the shit. They were good ass shows. You know what I mean? My boys Young Fee and Gmo used to throw dope shows there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Do you have any shows coming up?
no shows coming up. So it's one of those things where like kind of like well, actually I am going to be hyping Ken G up, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
I'm because he needs to have that stage presence up there with him.
For sure.
That's going to be on the 29th.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you guys working on that.
Yeah, but yeah, no shows coming up. You know, it's one of those things like where I am going to take the back row, and I just kind of rescheduled all my sessions to be weekend sessions because now it's time for me to kind of focus more on like my music and get my sound right. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. So nothing coming up just yet. You know.
Yeah, that leads me into so the single
Pool. Yeah.
Which will be released, we just don't know when.
Exactly.
Is that really part of you saying, okay, I'm getting back in, I'm definitely ready to do another project?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, because I'm sitting on like a good like 6 songs that I'm like, these are them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it could be something where I'm like not happy with the last verse, and I sit on it because that's what I've been doing. I've been sitting on them. So now it's like, no, I'm comfortable. Let's do it.
Okay. Do you have an idea for the album already, or are you gonna kind of let the music kind of dictate to where it's gonna go?
Well, see, and that's the thing where I'm going back on. I definitely would love to have the visual done, you know what I mean, but also have like 3 songs back behind it. So if anything comes to it, I want to drop an EP. You know what I mean? That's just one thing where I can't.
Dude,
I
love
can't
EPs
procrastinate.
though, dude.
Yeah.
Like EPs are such.
Well, they're the new mixtapes, bro.
Right, and
Yeah.
I feel like they're a little bit underrated at times too. You know, I think it's a great way, even for bigger artists, to like showcase just a little bit of a project. Like, man, I just had this like little idea I wanted to throw out there. I didn't want to make it a full 12, 15 song project. Maybe it's just 4 or 5, just hard hitting, to the point, you know, like just, I love EPs, man.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
EPs are cool, man.
Me too. It's fresh, and like, you know, the thing with the EP is you can come back and like if someone really does like fuck with it heavy, you can get another artist on the album. You know what I mean? There's like a remix to it.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Or what you do is you just drop a deluxe version.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what everybody's
Everybody's
doing.
dropping deluxes.
They got some people that drop like 3, 4 deluxe versions of the same album. Like, damn, bro. Oh, you had 3. You added 3 songs here, 3 songs here, 3 songs here, 3 songs. You had a whole LP you could have put out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I just think people think like, you know, oh, is it in my budget to go and put out a big project? So I'm just gonna do a single. I'm gonna do a single.
Yeah,
You
the
know what I mean?
promotion and all that. Yeah, and the album's already out and shit. Yeah,
That's not a bad way though to get started though either. You know, like if you're just getting started, you know, for any artists anyways, man, just drop singles, you know, and get your name out there. You know, I don't think you have to necessarily do a project at first just to get your name out there.
Well, I don't know if you heard of the new kid, man, Murray. He's a singer. He's on J. Cole's new album. He's got an album I've been talking to you about him called Street Sermons. He did the same thing, bro. He had like 5, 6 singles out at once, like was dropping them next week. And I was like, bro, drop an album. And then he finally dropped the album.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had heard half the album, but it was still fire though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people just do that and then they're like, you know what? I got this many singles.
Yeah.
Might as well add 6 more
That's
songs,
problem.
call it a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, shoot, and like, I mean, you know, back in the CD tape day, that's what it was. You had like 3 singles, and then you put out your album, you know,
Right.
a 10-track
That's true.
album or something
That's
like
true.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this album that's coming out, that's definitely coming out, but coming out soon. Do you have? Is it? Because you got the single that we gotta get that out there, bro. We gotta get the single out, bro.
Yeah, we'll get
You know what I'm saying? It's called Pool. It's May. We about to be in June. We gotta have that out for the summertime, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say. Are you gonna try to drop like a little summer type vibe album? Is that kind of what you're looking to do?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because like in my mind, like the beat selection, I don't even know if it was because it was cold outside or whatever the heck it was, but like a lot of them actually have the steel drum sound in the back of it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, we're in the desert, but it has like more of like a, you know what I mean, like a beach type feel to it. You know what I mean? So a summer vibe to it. Yeah.
I'm excited, bro.
I'm excited too about that.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because like I think back on like a lot of my songs that I've always really enjoyed. They've always kind of had that same sound, like that bounce and that summer feel.
I was gonna say because a lot of stuff that I've heard from you is definitely very bouncy, very, you know what I'm saying, dancey, vibey type of, you know what I mean? So.
And then I'm like over there in the hood trying to do a show in front of everybody thugged out. You
Right.
I don't know. Music is so blended these days. Like I feel
true.
like, you know, man, everything. Like I don't care if it's rock or alternative. It feel like it's blended with hip hop.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it's just so interesting the way the younger generation, man, is what they're playing around with. You know, I think we're in a weird spot, to be honest with you. Just somebody who listens to music a lot. You know, but I think very interested to see what is the next jump is. You know.
You started to see that too, like 2 years back, like even with like an artist I really do like Little Peep. You know what I mean? I think like he was taking a lot of sounds and blending them all in one. That was just and there's a lot of like UK artists that actually do that. He kind of had that
Big
sound.
time.
You know?
Are you working with anybody pretty young?
No, you know what? I really haven't even asked anybody for no features on my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where like I kind of like to do my own thing. You know what I mean? And get it out there.
Are you Are you recording any artists right now that you're like?
Oh, like a super young artist myself that I like
That you're working. Are you working with
Are
anybody?
you working with any you like recording anything?
A lot of the artists that be coming through, man, you know what I mean? Like they're a lot younger. You know what I mean? They're like hitting that age where like they're graduating high school.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which is cool because I'm over there sitting there with the brew, like you don't get none of this. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's kind of cool, like sitting back and like thinking, like, man, I wish I would have had this sound when I was their age, and like imagine where they're gonna go now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's not like to brush my shoulders and everything
No,
like that.
no.
But it's true though. Like
Yeah.
I wish I would have like, not been so hasty and like made myself sound like, man, how much there's like 50% plate reverb on this thing. You know what I mean? Just like, oh my god.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Well, that was just the way it was back then, though, bro. Like that was the sound. You know what I'm saying? And unless you paid a guap of money to go to a major studio, you just weren't getting, you know what I'm saying, the best sound. You know,
I mean, I'm saying
at that time,
and
home studios just weren't a thing.
it just
bro.
wasn't a thing, dude. I mean,
And really, I want to
digital
say,
was
like,
just
even like
barely
20 years
coming
ago,
out.
bro,
Yeah.
15. I mean, really, in the last 10 years is when you've seen like the home studio thing be
of
like,
course, yeah.
everybody got a home studio, quote unquote. They got enough to record in the crib somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and even the studios are different now where a lot of people aren't even using the rooms anymore. They're like literally, they're in the engineering room and they're like, nah, redo the vocals right here.
Yeah, they got
Like they just got a
the
mic right there, and then the damn cover, and they're like, "Yeah, just redo it right there." Everybody, shut up! He's gonna redo it.
Yeah, you'll see like the big old like digital analog board, and they just got their iMac right there.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Shoot.
Do you get inspired by these artists that come through? Is there ever a moment where you're like, "Oh, okay, I like what he did there," and you kind of not take it, but
Well, it's
borrow
funny,
a little
someone
bit.
was
You know
saying
what I'm
that.
saying?
Inspired. You get inspired. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's funny because someone asked me too, like, man, you sit on all these dudes' tracks, and you know what I mean. You ever think about that? And it's like one of those things, like, no, I can't, because it really is just like their style. I won't be able to emulate their style. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely. I mean, I get inspired. I think that's what's kind of got me off my butt to be like, man, you need to start doing this because you got these cats over here, like my boys from came from nothing, CFN. These dudes are coming in my studio and they're dropping like 4 songs a week. You know what I mean? 4 songs a week, and then like I'm hearing them freestyle a lot of it. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, what the hell? You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy,
right?
You know, so yeah, so but no, I'm more inspired. You know what I mean? But I don't think I ever could, man, because I think in the back of my mind I'd be like, man, that was my bar. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
right. You know.
Right. Now, yeah, no, I was just wondering because especially the new age is like definitely it's different, man.
It is. It's just different.
They just be in there kind of doing like, and I'm not saying it's bad or good because there's some that is bad, some that is good. You know what I'm saying? Like you got somebody like a Lil Baby, who I think is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? There's 10 other guys that sound just like Lil Baby that don't sound like Lil Baby.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be hearing them like that's not it. Lil Baby come on the track, I'm like that shit is hard as fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I was saying. There's some I'm really excited to see what is going to come out of this. I feel like hip hop in general is going through interesting growing up phase, or I don't know what you want to call it, but I just feel like it's in this transition period. For me personally, I don't know if you feel the same way or not. Do you feel like hip hop is transitioning into something like something different?
I can agree with that just because, even just like with going into the studio and like, what is it? Like my boy kind of puts it like, you don't want to be so like repetitious. You don't want to do your 16 and then do like, you know what I mean? Like a hook. Where you see these artists come in and all they're doing is just throwing words off, bounce each other back and forth. So it's almost kind of going back to it's new, but it's kind of going back to like an old school freestyle part of it. You know what I mean?
It is for sure. And that's a hard thing to do, man, especially if you're so used to like 16, 8, 16, 8, 4, 16 song over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
bridge, we good.
Bridge, like, you know what I mean? Like that's it. So and even on the J. Cole album, and I just bring it up because the most recent thing that I've listened to.
Hot album. I was in the pool like, man.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of his songs, like he's just rapping. You know what I'm saying? So and I kind of found that interesting. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then the names of the songs, you're like, well,
don't even go.
Well, why is it called that?
Exactly.
And they have a bar, like one bar in the second verse where they say that whatever the title is, and the hook don't even be the same. You're like, all right, well,
that's the worst part though, man. Making names for a song.
Yeah,
it is, man. Like even Pool, I was like, let's just call it Pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they hear it, they'll know. You know what I mean? But
but Pool's not in it.
Pool's in it, Pool's in the hook, you know what I mean? But it just like
he just says, and we jump in the pool, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you had the title of the song.
Pool splash.
Right. Quick question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you get your sip real quick. When you write, do you write concept first, or do you write and then the concept kind of comes? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you listen to a beat and you're like, this is what I want to write about? Or do you start writing your verse and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is what it's turned into?
So, well, like my style is always like real braggadocious. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like it's always kind of like around that area. But like, it used to be where I would just write. Like when I'd be going off emotion and hurt, I would write, and then you find a beat. You know what I mean? But now more it's like, let me hear that beat, like hear what the vibe is, and go with it with my own spin. It's, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And, but I'm trying to get away from that. I'm like, I'm trying to like go a little bit more into like more harmonizing. But like with the new sound that I got, and not on Pool, but with some other ones, like, it's gonna sound kind of weird, but like going back into like some 80s like REM, like, you know what I mean, like Talking Heads type stuff like that.
Okay.
Almost like that Euro pop like singing.
Oh shit.
I'm trying to go into a little bit of that with a couple songs. You know what I mean?
That'd
so
see, I like that. I love
love that.
I don't know, man. Again, I know I've said it. This is the third time, but I'm liking the blends that people are doing. I don't think artists have necessarily really figured it out yet. But you definitely hear. I mean, in every genre of music, man, the blends is crazy. What's happening right now?
Yeah.
Blending like crazy, like pop music to alternative to hip hop to rock. I mean,
even
it's
your
all
country.
just starting.
Yeah.
I mean, country's getting crazy. It's very poppy at the moment. Even I heard hip hop country the other day. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Very weird. but to my ears, just because I've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was like, okay, that might work.
Right.
I don't know. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I didn't necessarily care for it, but anyways, I just like the experimentations, because I think what's exciting is people do now have access to a lot of tools that they didn't have access to before.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think we're seeing finally seeing that actually come to fruition with these younger kids.
For sure.
And, you know, and I think that's why I threw that question to you, like, you know, about the kids, you know, like, what are they bringing to the table, or who, you know, because I just find it very fascinating.
Yeah, like I had like a handful of artists. It was crazy. It was like all in the matter of like 2 weeks that would come in, and everything kind of sounded like a Blink 182 type sound.
Oh, really?
You know what
Okay.
I mean? Yeah, but they were like singing like trap shit. They were singing street shit over like that
Gotcha.
type of stuff. It was cool as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, that sounds like Blink 182, and they're like,
Who the fuck is that?
who the hell is that?
Right.
That's so funny. But hell, man, dude, I mean, you know, like I said, just all blending together. I love it, man.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
it.
I agree with that.
So where can they find you?
Yeah, man. Where can they
Mr.
find
Moscato.
you? Where can they hit you up at?
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to sound right, you want to go ahead and step into a different studio, a different vibe, you can go ahead and look me on my IG. So it's going to be Damn It Moscato. So it's DAMN_IT_MOSCATO. Damn It Moscato. Or you can look on IG, the Moscato Room.
The Moscato Room.
Yeah.
Moscato Room.
Yeah, you want to sound right
And go
You know what I'm
follow
saying?
them. All that
Yeah.
good stuff.
for
Yeah.
the right price.
It
Have
definitely
your
is the
pockets.
right price, man.
Have your pockets ready. Don't be out here trying to get the hookup.
So can we set something up? I want to set something up right now.
Let's talk about it.
I want to set. I want. If you don't mind, man, I would love for you to come back when you drop your project, dude.
For
I would
sure,
really love to
100%.
dive in, because I know we're scratching around and
Yeah,
around the bush, if you will. Of
that
of
way
your
we can get the
project.
project early too, like before everybody gets it, so it's an exclusive. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
So nobody has heard it before, and then we'll hear it before, and then we can talk about
Hey,
it.
listen, so you're like one of like the 8 that I sent that song out to, you know what I mean? So I was just
Okay,
like, pumped
yeah,
up, you know what I mean?
yeah. Just make sure that you know what I'm saying. When you,
But I would-
when the project is done,
We would
Oh,
love to sit
man.
down with you, man, and
I would
kind of
love
go
that.
over that whole project and
for sure, man.
you know, kind of dive deep into that, and then whatever else is going on, man.
Yeah, man. I know you guys are gonna love it. You know what I mean? It's something like, if you've ever heard my past stuff, it's past, but like I'm just trying to do something different. You know what I mean?
Fire.
And I think that's really just my old age. You know what I mean? Because I don't want my kids like, dang, Dad, you talk about a lot of crazy stuff. Mom's
Right.
gonna kill you. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Anyways, you guys go follow Moscato, dude, on IG, Facebook, all that stuff, man. Hit him up if you guys want.
Yeah, man. Thank you for
Dope
coming through,
ass
brother.
sound,
Appreciate it,
man.
man. I love what you guys got going on here. You guys got great people coming in here interviewing.
Thank you, bro.
You know
Thanks,
what I mean?
man.
So yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're gonna have you back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Anyways, you guys stay safe and you guys stay positive out there.
And as always, this is the Gray Space. Peace.
Peace.